Alright, in this video we're going to talk about reading rhythms. We already did a little bit of work with rhythm earlier where we were clapping along to some of our favorite songs, clapping and counting. Just to review that, make sure you're able to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe clap a couple repeat after me rhythms like 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 2-bar phrases like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? As long as you can follow along with that kind of thing, this should be no problem for you. So let's get into what these rhythms look like on paper. Alright, so here's a rhythm exercise for you. Now, there's a couple things we need to talk about here. First of all, talk about what a time signature is. That's this little 4/4 marking right here that my computer won't let me highlight. So, when you have 1/4, when you're dealing with math or ratios or anything like that, 1/4, you would call that 1/4, right? So 4/4 would be 4/4. All right? Most people describe this as the top number in your time signature, right here, tells you how many beats are in a measure. Okay? The bottom number tells you what kind of note gets the beat. So, in this example, and this is called common time. Most of the music that you listen to, that anybody listens to, is going to be in 4/4 time. And that just means there are 4 quarter notes in each measure. Okay, so when we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Every time I repeat back to 1, that's a new measure. The thing that separates measures is called a bar line, right? This tells you where the new measure is going to begin, and it's always going to be after 4 counts if you're in common time or 4/4 time. So let's take a look at this. 4/4 time, there's a bar line here, all right, and now we have all kinds of different note values. Let's talk about these note values. This one, it looks like a diamond here because it's rhythmic notation, but most of the time you'll see it as an open circle. No stem on it, right? See this here, that's called a stem. This one has no stem. An open circle without a stem is a whole note. And in this example, it's going to go for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's a whole note. And then it starts back at the next measure, back to 1. All right, so there's a whole note. Now these open circles with stems, those are called half notes. Now a half note, as you can see here, gets 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2 counts per half note. All right, and now if you look over here, it's more of a line in this notation, but most time it's going to be a filled in circle with a stem. All right, no flag coming off of it, just a stem and a closed circle. That's going to be a quarter note. Now you see we have 4 quarter notes in each measure. Here's a measure with 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So you go down to the second line here, and there's some example rhythms that you can try clapping out. There's one more thing we need to talk about here, and that is these rests here. These are quarter rests, so just like a quarter note, they get 1 beat, but it's 1 beat of silence, right? So let's go ahead and move down to measure 13 here. We're going to look at these last 2 lines, and I'll clap these out for you so you have an example of what you're going for, and then you can just spend some time on your own working through this whole exercise, clapping and counting out loud. You can also pick a chord or a note, an open string, anything you want to play these rhythms on your guitar. I'll do a little bit of that for you here in a minute. So let's look at measure 13 here. It goes like this. I'll count it in and then we'll start. So 1, 2, ready, go. 1, rest, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, 4. Rest, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now you'll notice I said rest on the rests. That's just to help you get a feel for where the beats of silence are. You can also count through those, but you do not want to clap on the rests, just like you wouldn't want to play on the rests. In music, silence is every bit as important as the sounds that you're making, if not more, because the silence is what makes your sounds really pop, and silence makes sound meaningful. So let's look at 17 now, and I'll show you an example on 17 of how you could just pick up your guitar and just pick an open string and practice playing these rhythms on your guitar. So I'm just going to do the high E string open, and we're going to count and play this bottom line now. I'll count it in. So 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice when the rest came by, there was silence. I muted my string. And I did that very simply just by using this edge of my palm here and just pressing down on the string to mute it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Alright, so there is a little bit about reading rhythm. Now there are a lot of different rhythms, actually an infinite number of possibilities, and there are many faster notes than just quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. But we can start with this for now, and you can use rhythms like this to play the tunes that we have at the end of this unit. Just use 3 simple chords and count and play some different simple strumming patterns using quarter notes, half notes, and whole notes. You'll be well on your way to playing guitar. Alright everybody, see you in the next video.